Well, as you saw there, it's finally time to get on the 67 Mustang. It sports a 306. It's supposed to be pretty sweet. I think Summit built it. It's like rated for 300 or 350 horsepower. I mean, with this thing in a stock T5 and an 8-inch, it's only going to burn one tire anyways. But this should be a fun unit, and I'm excited for it. So my buddy Tim started putting it together. It's got a Fitech EFI that I have to wire in and everything, which actually, from the instructions, these are super simple. It's only a few wires, so that should be pretty neat. We got a mess of wires over here I need to go through and see what the heck's going on with that and maybe redo some of it. This looks like a clutch cable, so that's cool. I don't see a dipstick anywhere, so that's neat. I'll have to procure one of those. That's no big deal. Interior-wise, I'm really not going to do a lot to the interior, but it's got a sweet Hurst shifter in it, you know, some gauges that are there. There's the keys. I found the keys. And, you know, there's some other parts and stuff in here, and yeah, it shouldn't be that bad. It's like, it's 10% done. No big deal. I scored a sweet new Holley carburetor and a 347 for doing this, which we'll jump on that 347 here soon, and we'll go through that and get it ready to go in another vehicle, because that's going to be fun. And then that's going to get a nitrous kit this week too, so that's pretty cool. And then it's going to go to the tuner, and then we can actually make some fast passes. My goal is $11.99 with that car, and then spray it and go 10s. But we'll see what happens. I don't know. Those things really respond to nitrous. Back to this. So I'm going to get everything wired up first. It should be really easy. He put an HEI distributor in it. I need to make sure it's pointing in the right spot so I can time it and all that jazz and do a little more research on how it controls that, but no big deal. And then I'll get a dipstick for it. It's already got headers and exhaust on it. So, I mean, this is just, it's my least favorite thing is wiring, but that's okay. We're going to have fun doing it. And you guys are going to come along for the ride, I assume. Oh yeah, did you see that sweet 86 vert we picked up the other day? Cherry unit. Get to that too. Any rate, back to what I was talking about 10 years ago. Let's jump into this bad dog and see how far we can get. What do you think? You want to go? I've been going through the wiring here trying to figure things out. It's supposed to be super simple. Like, there's two connectors that come off of this. There's a coolant temp sensor and then an O2 sensor that runs down there. These are actually super simple, especially with an HEI. I am missing one connector for the HEI, so I'll have to get one of those. That's super easy because, you know, those are common. Over here, I'm finding like random fuse blocks. This is the other half of the plug that I actually need. It goes to another coil and then a whole nother mess of wires here. So I'm basically going to take all of this out, start over fresh. We'll wire in his gauges and stuff later for him that he wants. And this mouse nest, rat's nest of a harness is just, she's got to go, buddy. This is, I don't even know. It's like wire tied together down here. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but like, that's not safe. It's just rubbing against this here. So I'm glad it came here instead of catching on fire. Like this guy, I don't even know what this is for. It's just like a random bundle of wires that just has a connector, and then there's a bunch of relays down here, and I don't know what any of that's for or where it goes, aside from right here, where it's just all open and has another fuse block. Yeah, so we're going to take all that out before I just sit here and confuse myself more, because I don't know what any of this garbage is. This one might be for the electric fan, but again, I'm going to redo all of that. So basically, we're going to go ahead and just remove all of this. I've already explained all that stuff down there. We found where the coolant temp sensor can go. It'll thread right into that little guy right there. I need to wire up the HEI. I'm not going to get a connector. It's only like $8, but it doesn't matter. This stuff is amazing. I'm going to rethread this pipe plug in. I was hoping it'd fit there, but it do not. And then I'm going to put some on this too. Gas oil is the jams. And then we're going to get to the really fun part of actually just making this work. I went ahead and just snipped all the wires, started over like I said. So this will be easy. There's already a wire ran back to the fuel pump. I'm not exactly happy with it, but for right now, it's a wire and it'll do it. Okay, so now it just looks like another mess of wires, but this is what we took out of there. That's the negative. I gotta reuse that. This is just all random stuff that was just in there doing stuff and things. One keyed on wire was giving 5 things power though, so that's neat. Yeah, so we got that all trashed out. We got the keyed power going to the HEI, which also goes to the Fitech system. This one here is for our fuel pump. This just goes directly to the battery, and then, yeah, that's it. This one will go to the fan, which we'll get to that later. We're gonna put a relay in for that. But yeah, this thing's wired. That's how easy these Fitech systems are. So I'm gonna go ahead and heat shrink all the connectors now, make sure they're nice and solid, and we're gonna start cleaning up this harness, make it look like it's supposed to be in here, instead of just stuff draped everywhere, because I really don't like that look anyways, even if it weren't mine, or were mine. Yeah, and then this one, we'll eventually piggyback this in. I believe this is his aftermarket tack that's on the dash there, so we'll get that piggybacked in later. For right now, I'm more concerned about making the car run as it is, and then we'll go from there. We can always, you know, just stab that up into with this guy and just have those both running in there. We'll worry about that a little bit later. Went ahead and threw a battery in her, and it's, you know, actually 3 years old, but the optional is just, they don't die, so it's still at 100%, even after sitting in the car for 3 years. Got the HEI wired up. I got all the other things configured in here. I have key on power, I believe. I also have the tack signal hooked up for the tack on the dash. I'm going to clean it up. It's not going to look like this. I'm not going to leave it looking like spaghettis. But just for the simple fact of testing reasons. Oh. Well, that might not be good. The key isn't even on. Fuel pump runs. I've also got some learning to do, because I have no idea how to use Fitech stuff. Did a little more research. It turns out that the Fitech system never actually shuts off. They recommend that you disconnect the controller if you're going to leave the car sitting for a couple days, so we're good there. This is all wired up now. We're going to go ahead and heat shrink everything, make sure everything looks good in there, you know, do some lumage action. I obviously messed around with a little bit of a tune in that system. Holley is far superior, especially for the money that they charge for these kits, dude. Go Holley. Sniper all the way if you're trying to stay like 4150 carburetor style or whatever. You know, if you're going to get into like some big boy shit over here, Terminator X, Dominator, HP. Holley all the way. Can't change my mind. Just helping somebody out doing this. Any hoosers. We do have a small fuel leak here at that line going into the filter. That is a trash filter anyways. I'm gonna have to refucculate that. And then I'm pretty sure there's no oil in it. There's also no dipstick. Having these, I know that they usually hold around 6 quarts. I'm gonna pull the drain plug, make sure there's nothing in it. Add some, you know, oils and some zinc content, because I think it's a flat tappet cam motor. And then we'll go ahead and put some fresh 93 in it. Hook up the starter. The clutch cable's disconnected, but we don't need to move it. I just want to make sure that it runs and runs good before I go any further with it, because it also does not have a throttle cable, which I don't know what to do about all that stuff. So there's still quite a bit to figure out. I'm working through it, you know, just for spending a few hours and just getting rid of all this trash in here. We're doing pretty good. The plan is to add a little fuse block so that way I can hook up his electric water pump and a fan that goes in here, and that really should be all that we need to wire in. The Fitech doesn't require a relay or anything like that, or a fuse holder aside from what's in it. In this connector here, oh, there we go. All up here, it has its own fuses and everything like that. So that's pretty nice, you know, that you don't have to worry about that. And then him putting an HEI style distributor in here was even better. Only vacuum line we need is for, you know, vacuum advance reference on this thing. So we're doing pretty good. We got that connected. I need to make sure that he has the O2 sensor in it, so I'll crawl under it. But, you know, just kind of working through it here, and then hopefully we'll have fire maybe this afternoon.
We ain't going nowhere. We gonna stay right here.
So what we did here is hook up some more wires, added some oil, swapped out some gasoline. So far nothing's on fire. And that's good news. You don't want fire. I don't know how long this thing's been sitting. It had a little tiny bit of oil in it, which I believe this is a Summit Blueprint 306. So it's something like 370 horse. Pretty stout, guys, pretty stout. But I don't know that it had any oil circulated through it, and I don't know how long it's been sitting. Judging by the corrosion on the stuff, probably a couple years, and knowing my buddy, probably 3 to 4. Anyway, let's just see if it cranks and builds some oil pressure. Whoa. What's smoking?
This was getting red hot.
Oh. Well, there's a reason why that's happening, and I just realized it. There's no grounds to the block, and the only one is to that strut mount. So we're gonna go ahead and let this cool off and try again here in a few minutes. Good catch, Doug.
Good thing I came out here.
Yep. He's on fire watch. He's ready. We cranked it over. The thing didn't glow this time. Woo! I hooked spark back up. We're gonna see if it pops off. It doesn't have any coolant, so I can't like go through like break-in process, and the wiring's a mess still. But that's okay. I just want to know that it runs before I waste more time doing other stuff. Hang in there, guys. It's gonna be cool. Or it's not. I don't know.
I'm hoping for cool things.
Right?
So far,
No fuel leaks?
not that I see. Huh.
I have a feeling we don't have spark because it's not showing an RPM signal on the gauge.
Well,
We're
that's
on this little guy there.
2 feet.
All right, make sure it's in neutral. Go ahead and crank it. Okay, it has spark and it just tried to start, so go ahead and crank it again. Okay, I think that's gonna wrap it up for tonight. I'm pretty hungry and I don't feel like working on this anymore. Hey, welcome back, guys. It's another day and it's another Mustang. Just kidding, it's the same one. So, I need to get a timing pointer off of one of my parts engines. That isn't really a parts engine, but it's fine. I'll figure that out later. Because it doesn't have a timing pointer. I hope they're the same because this is like an early model front cover. I looked at the timing or the firing order, and they had it for an HO engine. My buddy sent me the link of the engine he bought. This is actually a ATK Performance 306 rebuild based off of the 80 to 86 truck motor. They claim it's still a roller. I'd have to tear it apart to find out. But that tells me that it's the non-HO firing order, the like 1.5 blah blah blah, instead of the 1.38. I don't even know. I don't know firing orders. I just look them up. I'm a big Ford guy, I know. But anyway, so we're gonna see if it'll start, and then I'll worry about checking timing. It should start right now, so let's find out together. Do you want to find out with me? Because we're gonna do it together at the same time. It lives! That is the first time this engine has ever ran that in his possession, I'll say. I don't know if they ran it before they sold it to him. But, you know, all right, let's keep going. I'm excited. You know, my faith is renewed. Yeah! I'm gonna find a timing pointer real quick, and then we're gonna start cleaning some of this crap up and, like, you know, adjust idle and stuff. Maybe make one of these fuel rods work. I think I'm gonna have to zoop and shoop and make it shorter. And that's cool. I'm excited. I did that. It's doing stuff. Not the smoke. That's not my fault. That's header wrap and mouse piss. All right, go ahead and shut it off. Yeah.
Woo! Damn, that stinks.
Yeah. That header wrap is terrible.
Shoo! Yeah, that's where all that smoke's coming from.
Yep. We're gonna go ahead and turn the fan on in here. We'll be back.
Yeah, where is that at?
So while the header wrap smoke clears out, because that's full of mouse piss and oil, sat in the barn for a while, I'm gonna go ahead and address everything in between, get it ready to go. I'll get the radiator and stuff in here because I have to do 3 30-minute between 2,000 and 2,500 RPM just revs that, like, you know, you have that many RPMs. That's annoying. That's 90 minutes of my day that I gotta stand here to break this in. That's a shit idea, guys. Like, you probably should have done that before you sent the motor out. I'll do it anyways, but good job, ATK. You suck. Poop to that.
Damn satellites. Poop to that.
Well, here we are. It's early as o'clock, and we're gonna get started with your morning radio DJ, Jeffy from Jeffy's Speed Shop. That was terrible. Anyways, when I was breaking this in,
The break-in process is very annoying, but at least it's going well and it sounds good.
I noticed some valve train noise, definitely from this side, maybe a little from this side, and the clutch cable needs hooked up so I can even see that it moves. Then we'll wrap up the video, you know, by just moving it around. But the radiator's not in right, and you know, it's just got these really poopy mounts that are self-tapered in there, and the alternator's definitely not on right. This is just to get it running and broken in, and now I can do all the cool cleanup stuff. I like to do things a little bit differently than most people. I don't like the final product. I want to make sure that it works right before I go spending all my time doing so. Note that. Anyways, we're gonna pull this valve cover off. I'd really rather be doing more fun stuff today with the old car over here, maybe cleaning up some extra stuff around here, but that's fine. We got to get this ready so it can get out of my brain and out of my way. Let's see what happened in here. I'm just hoping that it's just got like some stamped steel rockers that somebody didn't tighten correctly in the pattern, and it ran fine, and you know, even gave her a little juice afterwards, and it runs good. I think the fuel pump died or it ran out of gas, which is weird that it would burn through 3 gallons of gas in 30 minutes at $2,000. I don't do math, but it could be possible. Let me grab my thing and we'll just do the thing where we pull things. I also noticed the big puddle down there. It's definitely not because of these crappy flexi hoses. That little guy? Don't worry about that little guy. Ah! Oh, fudge! I'm not seeing anything in here to cause concern. Everything actually seems to be set correctly. A little rust in here from it sitting. No big deal. I don't see any like broken valve springs or anything. Maybe it was just a header leak and I'm just dumb. I don't know. I mean, we'll check header bolts too, but I'm gonna go ahead and rotate it through and do the right thing and check these out. I'm also gonna pull the driver's side and check it out. If I see anything cool, I'll let you guys know. Otherwise, we'll find some gas and we'll get it running again and get the clutch cable hooked up. Bingo. Well, I didn't find anything interesting, and all of a sudden it's nice and quiet. I'd say she's running pretty good. As it dies. Well, I'd say it's running a lot better, and it's not noisy, and I tightened up the header bolts, and maybe it's just header bolts loose. That's a possibility. I'd say let's clean some shit off of it, hook up the clutch cable, and go see what happens. I'm too excited. I'm too excited, guys. Okay, well, allegedly the clutch cable's hooked up and it's gonna work now, so I guess let's find out together. Hey, look at that! Brakes work, and then reverse. That works too! And the brakes work. Let's take this sketchy piece of shit for a ride, huh? I'm surprised it didn't fall down. Well, it smells like mouse piss inside of it. It's dusty as hell from sitting in a barn. And I just got it to the point where I think it can run, drive, and move. And we're gonna do just that for the first time with a V8. The 67 Mustang is gonna move under its own power. Let's do it. Can you guys believe that? I did that. We went from nothing to this. Let's go drive it down the driveway and around the road or something. See if we can find some place to do a burnout. Just kidding. Brand new. Oh god, brand new clutch. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, no, it's fine. It's supposed to do that. Oh yeah. Got the sky cam. Ain't got much gas in it. Look at this. I'm driving it though.
I'm very happy with it. I had to adjust the shift stops on the shifter there, just so it would go into second gear and stuff like that when I was driving it. It doesn't have any gas in it. It's only got water in it, and it's got a few coolant leaks from those stupid flexi hoses. I'm gonna clean everything up. I'm gonna mount the alternator properly. Everything's gonna get cleaned up in another episode. But for now, I gotta get on the white Mustang and the nitrous kit, so that way I can go to the tuner here in a few days. And that's gonna be super fun too. So thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on Jelly's Beach. No, it was a terrible ending.